Boom! Phosphates, the controversy. So, what are phosphates? How do they get into your pool? And what do they do to the pool chemicals once they are in there? So, let's get right into it. What are phosphates, or where do they come from? So, there's three major sources of phosphates where they come from. One would be organic materials, so leaves, branches, grass clippings, stuff like that. Then you got chemicals. Fertilizer is a big one. So if you're fertilizing your grass and you got a heavy rainstorm, gets into the pool, your phosphates are gonna shoot up. What else? Pool chemicals. So some pool chemicals, the metal outs, the stain removers, pool startup stuff, that will absolutely put your phosphate levels through the roof if you put enough of it in there. So yeah. Also some chemicals like your Roundup, your ant bait, stuff like that. If you are spraying for weeds around your pool area, please don't start with spraying up in the sky or anything like that. If you can, just pick it with your hands. If not, just be very, very careful as you're spraying into it, and hopefully it doesn't rain when you're done, because a heavy rain, just like if you fertilize the grass, if you're spraying for ants and weeds around your pool deck and it rains, it's going to get some phosphates into your pool. So with that being said, once it does get into your pool, what does it do to the pool chemical? So from my experience, it literally just zeroes out the chlorine. So when I was a noob and know much, and I'm still learning, but I've got half a dozen years under my belt now. I get to a pool, hey, there's no chlorine. Okay, well, let me shock the pool. Come back next week, damn, there's no chlorine. So this would go on for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then I'd have to make multiple visits a week, and now I'm going there 2 or 3 times a week. And eventually, researching this stuff, all roads led back to phosphates. And now if I get to a pool and for some reason the chlorine is just zeroed out and there's no chlorine in there, the first thing I do is I get my test kit, phosphate test kit, that specifically only tests for phosphates, and I use it. I don't waste any time with this stuff. Story. This one pool I was going every single day. I was putting in 2.5 gallons of bleach, and one day I even put in 5 gallons of bleach, and every day I would come back the next morning and there would be zero chlorine in the pool. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So after doing all the research that I did, that the phosphates literally eat the chlorine, like it disappears, and then the phosphates just grow and grow and grow. It's a compounding problem. So it's like a buffet. That's the term that I use for it. When you got phosphates in your pool and you just keep putting in chlorine and just putting in more chlorine, more shock, more chlorine, more shock, and the chlorine is just getting zeroed out, the phosphate problem is actually getting worse. It's compounding on itself. So if I have phosphates in any pool, I just get rid of it. I have seen, I wouldn't call it a big debate, but I have seen where some people were a little bit cautious on putting in, phosphate remover. I haven't seen any justification why I wouldn't use it. So if you're having issues with phosphates, check for it. If you have phosphates, get rid of them. And I'll go a little bit in detail on, one, how to check for it, and two, how to actually remove them. So thanks. I forgot the, probably for some people, the most common source where phosphates come from. I talked about the organic materials, the grass clipping. I talked about the chemicals, the pool chemicals, the fertilizers, water, the municipal water source, depending what part of the country you're living in, has or adds phosphates to the water supply. Reason being, the inside of the pipes, because water has hard minerals in them, calcium, etc., it starts to scale. It scales up, and the diameter of the piping just gets, it just shrinks, and it looks like fat cells inside of them. I'll put a picture right here. So they add phosphates to descale the inside of the municipal piping. So if that's an issue, or if you're in that situation, then you're probably going to have to add maybe a little cup, 2 milliliters, or whatever it is on a weekly basis. During the swim season, if you have to constantly add water into your pool. So yes, I completely forgot to add one of the most important places where phosphates come from. So yeah, water, your water supply. You have to understand if phosphates are coming from your water supply or not. I would actually just get a hose, put it in a little cup, check for phosphates by itself, and if you know your water supply has phosphates, then that's something you're going to have. I would just recommend weekly maintenance with.